Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at a couple of disparaging comments Manuel Lamb wrote on a couple of my videos. My first reaction was to do exactly what the Messiah told us to do. Fuck them. But I started thinking, and I told me, scribe, you have to exhaust all avenues of perception before you can say fuck them. I have grown through trial and error to listen to me. So, allow me to ask you and those who still believe the Native Americans are Israelites a series of unfortunate questions. Question: if history is correct in that to the conqueror goes the spoil, the victor gets to tell his story, the Native Americans could not endure the rigors of chattel slavery like the so-called African Americans, genetics of dominant DNA have no other choice but to be passed down throughout the generations, and the stories about the fighting prowess of the Buffalo Soldiers, or should I say abominable soldiers, or even half true, aren't we looking at things with the opposite perception? What am I talking about now, you ask? Well, if these things are self-evident, what happened to their Israelite heritage as a whole? I'm not talking about a synonymous gesture here and there. You know, things like walking around half naked to start. Better question: what nation of people could they have possibly come from that walked around half naked? Remember, the white man made them put on clothes. Isn't that against the Israelite basic heritage? If they don't fit, you must acquit. Why do we not hear of one reference in all recorded history of Native Americans having knowledge of the sea or boat-making capabilities other than a hollowed-out tree? Why would the Israelites lose or not practice this wonderful skill? Even if they were the ones conquered, no heathens worth their salt will forgo this knowledge of the unknown and commerce with the outside world. It just doesn't make sense at all. If they don't fit, you must acquit. With any migrations that is not out of sudden fear of destruction, the migrants would have brought a taste of home with them. What indigenous Middle Eastern plant or foods are in America? We know I am telling the truth because the Europeans, Vikings, and Spaniards brought seeds and food taste from their homelands. If they don't fit, you must acquit. Another question is, where did they get praying to dead ancestors and animal spirits from? Praying to foreign gods is one thing, but communing with the dead, isn't that necromancy? That's definitely against the law also. If they don't fit, you must acquit. I searched the scriptures, but couldn't find the prominence of feathers and beads we all see the Native Americans deem sacred. Yeah, I know the Israelites were wayward as hell and went a-whoring after different gods, but at least some of their culture would have remained intact. Besides, what we see of all Native Americans is above and beyond sacrilege. Yeah, I know Yah said he would take away our heritage, but that promise only makes my argument ring true. How? Because the Native Americans have always had their same heritage. There isn't a disruption in their recorded culture at all. Again, if they don't fit, you must acquit. Why don't any so-called Native American have facial or bushy hair? Yes, some of the images portray dark-skinned people, but even they do not fit the description of being a cake unturned, which is burnt. It doesn't say golden or lightly browned. Better yet, look at those people. Their entire facial and body structure are different than ours. Now look at the hybrids produced by the miscongeniations of the bloodlines between Indians and African slaves. Black as hell, meaning genetics don't lie. If they don't fit, you must acquit. Why did the Native Americans die from the white devil's natural diseases, common cold and insect malaria, and the so-called African Americans did not. If they don't fit, you must acquit. What happened to their wisdom and understanding of how to build buildings? Even if they sailed away before the Assyrian invasion, they would have vast knowledge of things we do not see in America today. On another note, but within the same song, why did they forego superior weaponry in iron and brass to hunt and fight with sticks? If they don't fit, you must acquit. Why did they forego the comforts of oil lamps just to have lighting by the pale moonlight? Oh yeah, why were they living in teepees when you would think they would be living in booths on the open range? If they don't fit, you must acquit. Where on earth did they get that dancing around the fire? Where did that come from? If you understand the practice, they were invoking their spirits, just like Ben Franklin, Nostradamus, etc., when they were involved in gazing into the flame. Where did the face painting part come in? Where did the drug-infused sweat houses come in? What in Hades is a war dance? Show me that in our history. Anywhere. Again, if the Native Americans are the tribe of anybody in Israel, where in the hell did all of these heathen practices originate? You can't say African, Assyrian, Russo, Greek, etc. And how on earth did it permeate the landscape as though it was the only way of life they have ever knew? Before I let you go and plot your revenge, remember, even in the images of the dark-skinned Indians, they all exhibit the characteristics just named. The way I see it, we only have two options. The Israelites willingly gave up their entire concept of the old country with all of its amenities. Remember, they were the elite with superior weaponry. For those who were of lesser stock, living just a step above being cavemen. Or it could mean, and I fancy this theory, we are only looking at what we are supposed to be looking at. Aboriginal dark-skinned people living here before the white Indian and white devil came. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, I know you want to point to the temples of Peru, don't you? Well, archaeologists have concluded those temples were built way before the people we call Native Americans were even thought of. For some strange reason, or maybe not, the people just vanished. Yeah, that's what they say. They just vanished. I have a theory about this, but that's for another video. I know you also want to point to the fact that certain abstract tribes didn't eat pork. Well, the Egyptians didn't eat beef, yet their neighbors did. That was the excuse Moses used to go into the desert to sacrifice. The Hindu didn't eat beef either, yet all others around them would have fucked the cow up. And, wait a minute, and another damn thing.